Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gaurakarunaswarupaya Radha Krishna Kristaya Te Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gaurakarunaswarupaya Radha Krishna Kristaya Te Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gaurakarunaswarupaya Radha Krishna Kristaya Te Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gaurakarunaswarupaya Radha Krishna Kristaya Te Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Ep.52821 Srivasade Bhagavandas Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Ep.52821 Srivasade Bhagavandas Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Ep.52821 Srivasade Bhagavandas Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Ep.52821 Srivasade Bhagavandas Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana 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 Madana Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala 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 Govinda Rama Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gauranga 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 Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Yoga Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Kristaya Te Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Yoga Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Kristaya Te
Arbon, Hare Krishna. Good morning once again. So this morning, we'll talk about, what will we talk about? Okay, so I've encountered this on Facebook so many times about mental health problem. So I think it's common today because of the current situation that we are in, this COVID-19 pandemic. And there are instances, there are incidents where people broke down because of the problem that we have encountered lately. So we will be talking about this. So why is this happening? Why do people encounter things like having depression, overly stressed? So people are stressed, but stress is common. We can experience stress, and there are different types of stress: mental stress, physical stress. So we cannot avoid stress. Actually, it's built in this world. It's something that we cannot get away from, because this world is designed to be stressful. Nakadesign na yung mundo para maging stressful. That's why we encounter stress. Actually, stress, depression, loneliness, these things, we can also look at it on a different perspective. Some people think this is bad. having stress, having problems, they see it as something that is bad. Parang, ang laki-laki ng problema, ang dami-daming ginagawa, ganito, ganyan, blah, 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 no? So we get stressed out to the point that some people, no, experience almost, no, some almost experience nervous breakdown, no? Nagkakaroon na sila ng mga panic attacks, no? Especially pag talagang they are bombarded with so many things. Stress sa work, stress sa family, no? And the environment is stressful. So it brings us to the point of breaking down, no? Parang, I give up. I don't want to do this anymore. So there are people who has these tendencies to give up and just destroy their body. No? Goodbye, cruel world. No, wala na. They either jump or whatever. No, but because they are thinking, maybe if I destroy my body, maybe if I commit suicide, if I die, then the problems will go away. Everything will stop. No more body, no more problem. So some people are thinking like that. But it's not a solution to the problem. What happens is you just add more problems. It's like you are now burning, no? Nasa wok kayo, nasa kawali kayo, you're feeling hot, no? Ang init ng kawali, and then you jump to the fire. No? Tumalong kayo, you jump into a much deeper problem. No? Because destroying your body will leave you in a situation wherein you don't have physical body anymore, but still the desire is there. Nandun pa rin yung desire. The problem now is you cannot do whatever you want anymore because you don't have your physical body. No? You turn into a ghost. Imagine yourself as being a ghost and you want to enjoy this. Let's say you want to enjoy food, but you don't have the tongue to enjoy it anymore. No? So it's more miserable condition now than before na hindi ka lang makakain because you don't have money to buy food. No? So you may have all the time in the world, but you cannot eat anymore. No? So it's a bigger problem now for you. Ghost ka na, and then the desires are still there. It doesn't go away. Because wherever your mind is, the desire is there in the mind. When you destroy your body, no, it's like the body has a schedule when you should leave, and you destroy it in advance. No? So you'll be left with the subtle body, the mind, the intelligence, and false ego. So you become a ghost. When you are a ghost, you still have to deal with desires. You still have to deal with desires. So destroying your body is not a good solution. And so people who are afraid to destroy their body or to commit suicide, they are miserable. No? They live a miserable life. No? And then they now want to get away from this misery. So some people try to seek solutions through religion or something. But the problem comes when you get in touch with a process that will help you get away from this misery. Pag nandun ka na, of course, you will be required to do things. You will be required to sacrifice things. Then the false ego will tell you, why are we doing this? Why should we do things like this? When you come into contact with people who are trying to develop their relationship to God, who are also trying to get away from the miseries of this world, and you see that the activities that has been given to you as a burden, parang, why do we have to do sacrifices? Why do we have to engage in austerities? Why do we have to follow such processes? You want to get away from the problem, but you don't want to accept the solution. Every problem that we encounter, there is a solution. But if we don't want to accept the solution, then you cannot get away from that problem. Okay? Kuha? No? So, may problema ka, gusto mo makaalis sa problema. Then, binigyan ka ngayon ng solusyon. Ang problema naman doon, ayaw mo tanggapin yung solution. No? Because, why do we refuse to accept that solution? It is because we still want to become lords. We still want to dominate over material nature. Gusto natin tayo pa rin yung Lord. I want to do this, I want to do that. You cannot tell me what to do. You cannot tell me what not to do. So our consciousness is, I am God. I am the Lord of everything that I survey. In the first place, this is the reason why are in such condition. The reason why we are suffering, because we think that we are lords. Actually, we are tiny little lords. We're actually insignificant. We're just thinking that we are powerful. But if we see our situation, we are nothing. The lordship that we have is insignificant. It's only an illusion when we think na I can live my life according to my will. This is the problem that people in general encounters in this world. That's why everything is stressful. So you go into a place where people are practicing, and then the devotees of God, they simply want to please God. They simply want to have a good relationship with Krishna. So they want their offering, their service to be as perfect as they can be. They're not perfect, but they want the best thing that they can offer to God. So while doing that, you are there, and of course, you'll be experiencing, why do we have to do this? It so happened that you are in the vicinity of the spiritual world, and if you engage in devotional service, then you can experience the pleasure of serving. But if you don't want to serve God, what you'll experience is hardship, pressure, and to the point that you'll have nervous breakdown. Parang, puro trabaho, ang bigat, ang dami, sobra. No? Bakit ba ako napunta sa ganitong situation? The reason you experience that because you are on a different level. You are thinking only about yourselves, about ourselves. I want to become Lord. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to take and take and take. But in this world, the more you take, the more you lose. In spiritual life, the more you give, the more you have. So that's the difference. If you live a materialistic life, the more you take, the more you try to engage in materialistic activities, the more you lose. But when you practice spiritual life, and the more you give, the more you'll receive. That's why it is stated in the Bible that seek first the kingdom of God, and everything shall be added unto you. So when you have God within you, when you have God in your life, when you have Krishna, when you are engaged in loving relationship with Krishna, then the whole spiritual world is with you. Material world is just a tiny part of the spiritual world. So when the whole spiritual world is with you, then the material world is also there. The word Hari, the sound vibration Hari means the energy of God, wherein everything is there. The names of God is there, the devotees are there, the whole material, the whole cosmic creation is there. Simply by chanting the names of Hari, you'll have everything. So that's the difference between materialistic life and spiritual life. When you give something in a material aspect, you have 1 million, you give it away, then you lose it. Yeah? But in spiritual life, when you give something to God, you'll gain more. So if you give 100% of your life, then you'll receive 100% of God's relationship. You'll have this 100% relationship, loving relationship with God. So there is no question of stress, depression, nervous breakdown. These things happen because we are away from God. These things we experience because we don't want to serve God. That's the primary reason why we are here. We want to enjoy a life that is separated from God. Okay, so material nature grants you that. Bigyan kanya ng katawan. You want to enjoy away from God, then material nature gives you a body to try to enjoy. You cannot really be actually happy. Hindi talaga kayo tuluyang magiging masaya. No? But you have this flickering happiness you can experience. And if you cannot get away from this situation, the life here in this material world is perpetual. You'll be just jumping from one body to another until such time that you realize na, ayoko na, I don't want to live such a life. I don't want to experience the pain of being born, experiencing diseases, experiencing old age and dying. After death, you get to be born again and get sick, get old and die, and get born again, get sick, get old and die, get born again, get sick, get old and die. You get born again, get sick, get old and die, perpetually, until the time that you realize that this is enough. I want to go back to Krishna. I don't want to enjoy separately from God. So once we come into this realization, then Krishna arranges. He arranges it that you will be in a condition or in a situation wherein you will have the chance to go back to God. So this material body, this human body, is our jumping point towards going back to Krishna. Once we have this body, then, and we are in the environment where spiritual life is practiced. So this is the most auspicious time. This is the best time that we practice spiritual life and will have the chance to go back to Krishna. If we misuse this body, thinking na, maybe I'll try this first. Maybe this one will help me become satisfied, or I'll try this one. I'll do spiritual life later. If we are still in this condition, then we cannot get away from samsara, no? The cycle of life and death. No? So you go back again and again. So that's samsara. We should get away from such situation, and the solution is simple. The parampara has given us the solution. God Himself has given us the solution. Simply by developing our loving relationship with God. Jesus Christ told us already what to do. No? We have to love God. Not only a small portion, but 100%. Dapat 100%. Because kung may percentage pa ng we want to enjoy here in this world, then the material nature is willing to give us that chance to enjoy again in this world. So, but there's a flaw to that system. The flaw is the spiritual master. Once the spiritual master blessed us that we go back to Krishna, then even though we still have material desire, when we go to the spiritual world, all of the material desires will be lost, because there's no material desire in the spiritual world, considering that we are blessed by the spiritual master. So we have to develop also this relationship with the spiritual master. When one comes to the spiritual master, then one gets to know Krishna. By the mercy of Krishna, one gets to know the spiritual master. Because the spiritual master and Krishna, they are inseparable. You cannot separate God from His devotee. You cannot separate devotee from God. So wherever Arjuna is, Krishna is there. And wherever Krishna is, the devotees, their prayer, their consciousness, their desire is also there. So you cannot separate these things. If we want, no? But if you still thinking na, dito muna ako, no? Try ko itong ulit, no? Because Maya is so powerful. Although you know already the situation, how hard life is in this world, Maya is so powerful that she can convince us to stay here and do her bidding. Gawin ko muna itong pinapagawa ni Maya. Next time na yan. No? So we'll be trapped here. We can't get away. But if we are so trained, that's why it's very important that we have association. I think on a personal level, my experience, the reason why I'm still clinging to the process is because I am in association with individuals who want to get close to God. So maybe if I'm not in the environment where people are trying to develop their love for God, maybe I'm somewhere else, no? Trying to do something nonsensically, walang patutunguhan, no? Because I'm weak. That's why the association is very important, especially for me on the personal level, because it helps me. It reminds me, people reminds me of the things that I should be doing and the things that I should be engaging in. Because sometimes spiritual life is hard, especially if the mind and false ego is very strong. But people around you will always remind you, hey, champ, do this, do that. Engage in devotional service. offer your life to Krishna. So you get reminded, and then, okay, so the path that you are walking in, it's like there is, the roads, there are paints, no? So that you don't go astray. So there are a few roads I've encountered na walang paint. So there's a tendency na you're out of the path already. So when you are living or in association with like-minded people, devotees who wants to get, or people who wants to get close to Krishna, it's like traveling on a road with these paints. You don't get astray. You just follow the paint, even though the fog is so thick, you cannot see the actual road. You don't see the whole place. No? Sometimes when we pass by Davao in Marahan district, the fog is so thick that you just have to look at the paint, white paint on the sideways, so you don't fall into the ravine or somewhere sa kabilang side na nung kalsada, may makabanggaan na kayo, no? It's how important having relationship or good association. Sometimes we have to check also, no? Baka bad association yung kasama natin. So we are given already guidelines who to follow or who to associate with. Hindi yung, okay, ito cool tong tao na to. So, I'll follow him. Kahit na yung ginagawa niya, hindi naman talaga makakatulong sa atin. We see people na, wow, it's cool. Maybe I'll follow this guy. But he's doing nonsense. So, the tendency is you'll be doing nonsense also. So, but we were given guidelines who to follow. And individually we have Krishna in our heart, Lord, the Paramatma, the Lord within the heart. If we follow the process, and then we can hear the Lord within our heart. The more we chant, the clearly we can hear the Lord within our heart. So in the Christian world, we call it yung Holy Ghost, or yung konsensya. Yung konsensya yan. The Paramatma. But if we have a hard heart, we cannot hear the Lord within our heart. We cannot hear Paramatma. If we don't have the desire to have a relationship with God, kahit sigawan ka pa, Dong, hindi dyan ang daan. No, you cannot hear. So that's one thing that we should want. We should desire to be close to God. If we don't have that desire, we should pray to have the desire. To desire to be close to God. Ipagdasal natin yun. No? Because that's our get away. No? It's our gate away from the situation that we are in. There's no amount of material things that can help us. Even the relationships that we have in this world cannot help us. There's no group that can help us. No. Only God can help us. And if you want to get away, then the process is there. It's laid down already. The only thing that we should do is accept it, embrace the names of God, and then we can be on the path where anxieties that we experience So actually, it's good when we experience stress, anxieties, to the point of breaking down, because we get reminded that, uy, we shouldn't be here. Hindi pala tayo dapat nandito. We're experiencing these problems because this is not our home. No? Like the reminder when we get burned by fire. No? So when you get close to fire, you get burned, because that's a reminder that we should stay away from fire. Kasi if you get close to fire and you don't feel the heat, the tendency is you get burned. Ba? Ilalagay mo lang apoy. For example, there's fire here and I put my hand and you don't feel the heat. So the tendency is your hands get burned and you don't notice it. When you look at it, wala ka ng kamay. Diba? So pain reminds us that this is not our home. So when we encounter problems, for devotees, this is good. Because we are reminded that we should take shelter. We should take shelter with God. Nandyan si Krishna, someone that we can lean on. Pwede nating sandalan. Because here in this world, para kang nakatayo sa isang, imagine yourself standing on a platform, tapos yung tinatayuan mo na yon biglang inalis, no? So mahuhulog ka or you'll whatever, matumba, no? But when you have Krishna, yung solid ang foundation mo, no? Kahit na bumagyo, lumindol, nothing will happen because you are always protected. No? So sometimes experiencing yung mga problems na to is good, no? In a way, it's good because we get to take shelter. No? Krishna, di ko na kaya. No? So, it's all up to you. I'll just do whatever I can according to my ability. No? But everything is up to you now. No? That's why in the Filipino culture, we have the word bahala na. It comes from bathala na. No? So, there are two effects. One is yung passive na, bahala na. Ibig sabihin, walang gagawin, no? You don't do anything, bahala na. Bathala ng, ang ano dyan, si bathala na lang. Then the other one is, you are completely surrendered to God. You do everything you can and then you leave it up to God. I'll do what I can and si bathala na lang ang magdidesisyon. So bahala na, no? So I hope you use bahala na in the positive way, not yung passive na bahala na yan, and then you just don't do anything, no? So di ba, we have this saying na nasa Diyos ang awa, nasa tao ang gawa. No? So you do what you can according to your capacity and God will help you. So yung kakulangan mo, si Krishna na yung magpupuno. Si Krishna yung magpupuno. You just do what you can. Kasi that's our condition. We are not in control. No? If we realize this, then we'll just have to do what we can and allow Krishna to drive the chariot as he did with Arjuna. No? So Krishna drove Arjuna's chariot. So that's what we should be like. We should follow the examples that Arjuna did. We let Krishna drive our chariot and everything will be smooth because everything is already planned. Whether you accept it or not, everything will happen. Like what happened during the battle in Kurukshetra. Krishna said na all of these people will die whether you fight or not. So why not just do what I say? Fight. That's what's happening in our life. Whatever is going to happen will happen, whether you do it in Krishna's service or not. So whether you serve Krishna directly or you serve Krishna indirectly through Maya, because Maya is a devotee also of Krishna. Kapag direct, then you'll simply experience the pleasure, yung bliss na hinahangad natin, the happiness that we are longing for. But when we serve Krishna through Maya, then that's a different situation, because we are thinking that we'll be in the illusion that we are the ones who are harvesting the fruits of our labor. So kung good ang reaction ng action natin, ng karma, then we harvest that. If the reaction is bad, we also harvest that. Whereas when we do things without in connection with service to God, it's a karma, meaning wala siyang karmic reaction. So the fruits of our labor, si Krishna ang bahala lahat, whether it's good or bad. So we simply do act, serve Krishna. Whether we succeed or not, it's irrelevant anymore. Hindi na natin isipin na successful ba yun or not. No? Actually, when you engage in love and service, it's already a success. It's already a success. Because things happen according to God's plan, not according to our plan. So when we are in such consciousness, we'll notice na problems will always be there. It's unavoidable because that's built in this world. Nandyan talaga yung problema, no? But we will not be touched by these problems. Hindi na tayo yung stress will just pass by. We know that it will happen, but we will not be touched by it anymore. Like the stone, a big rock, you put it in the middle of the river, it's not touched by the water. It's just there standing, stable. But if you're like a stick, you'll probably be washed away by the river. No? So where the water flows, it brings you. So where Maya decides you to go, then you are swept away to that direction. So that's the difference between a person who is engaged in devotional service and a person whose life is dedicated to try to enjoy this material world. No? So I hope you be in a situation, or you want to be in a situation wherein you're like that stone, no? Steadily na situated, na hindi kayo matatouch. No? So to be in that situation is you have to desire. You have to have this desire na I want to go back to Krishna. This will be my life. There is no other life than this. Once you've decided this, ito na yung buhay ko, then things will come into place. Things will just come into place. You don't even have to manipulate things. No? You don't need to control things. It just goes into place. Okay ta, no? You want something or you need something, it will be arranged in a way na, here's something that I can use to serve Krishna. No? You don't need to over-endeavor anymore. Wala nang over-endeavor. So if things don't go the way you planned, it's probably because it doesn't need to be that way. Kung nagplano tayo, usually we plan things and it doesn't happen. No? Generally, it always happens like that, no? You do a month time of planning, maybe a year or 2 years nung plinano. Pagdating nung D-Day, nag-crumble lahat, no? No? Grabe yung excited ka na, you want to go to this place and then COVID happens, pang! Sira lahat ng plano mo, no? No? Bye-bye. So you are, tawag doon, grabe yung anxiety mo, you have this anticipation, okay, this is it, it's going to happen now, and then something else happened, no? It's just a reminder na, hey, you're not in control. You shouldn't feel na dapat ganito, ganyan. No? So some people, there's this tendency na napakalupit ng Diyos. Di ba? So God is so cruel that He did not allow me to make my plans fructify. No? Hindi nagkatotoo yung plano ko. Imagine, 1 billion people, 2 billion, 3 billion of people, all of them are planning. Diba? It's chaotic kung lahat yung pagbibigyan. Diba? Kasi, so, we just have to surrender, no, to Krishna. And everything will go into place. Wag na natin isipin yung plano kasi we are not sure about the future. Ba? The future is uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen an hour from now, no, 2 hours from now, or a day, or a year from now. We're not sure what's going to happen. And the past, it's already past. We can't do anything about the past. So what we should do is live now and look at ourselves. Where am I now? We are the only ones who can gauge our life. No? Nasaan na ako? Do I have a close relationship with God? Or I am more close in my relationship with this material world? Diba? Mas malapit na ba ako sa Diyos o mas malapit ako sa family ko, sa mga bagay-bagay, no? So that's how we gauge if we are doing progress. Because kung mas malapit tayo sa mundo na to, it's like edge, no? This one is towards God, the other one is towards this material world. They don't go together. Either you go this way or you go this way. No. You cannot go on separate ways simultaneously. Hindi kaya, hindi pwede. No? You cannot do that. You have to choose whether you go this way or this way. Yun lang, no? Walang two ways. Di ba? Have you heard about the saying na di pwedeng mamangka sa dalawang ilog, no? You cannot, di ba? You cannot serve two masters at the same time. Either you serve God or you serve mammon, no? Material world. No. So that's a decision that every one of us should have. No? Yun yung koroksetra natin. That's our battle. Saan ba ako patungo? Dito or dito? No? Because every day we are taught, di ba, yung regular natin na lessons dito that this world is wala talaga. No? Zero talaga. No? So we just have to decide if we want to stay on this zero na mundo na to. No? Or magpaka-zero lang tayo. It's a decision that I cannot decide for you. Your parents cannot decide for you. Diba? Your family cannot decide for you, or anyone else cannot decide for you. It's you who should decide for it. Kahit na you are already in a circle or in an environment where everyone are pure devotees. No? Dapat mag-decide tayo na, this is my life. This is what I want to do. Kasi kung hindi, you'll end your training leaving this institution with an empty bag. Like you train for a month, a year, 2 years, and then when you leave, you have nothing. Diba? Wala lang. Kasi you missed the point kung ano talaga yung dapat na naging buhay natin. Okay? Okay. So, you know what to do already. You just have to follow the process. And it's like when you are sick, no, bigyan ka ng doctor ng, okay, drink this for 7 days. Sometimes on the 5th day, I'm okay na. Ayun naman ko, no? The medicine is so expensive, maybe I should stop now. No? But it's advised by the doctor na you should drink this 7 days, 3 times a day. I'm okay now. Maybe I can drink 1 time a day na lang. No? So if we do that, the tendency is the disease or the symptoms will come back. No? This time it's stronger. So I have encountered this situation wherein people engage in the process. They chant the names of Krishna and then they try to engage in materialistic activity again. Tapos, they'll be in a condition that is much worse than they were before. It's the same with the medicine analogy. Pagbalik ng sakit, mas malakas na. No? Mas malakas na yung sakit. So, sometimes it's like that. Because when you know already the knowledge, you know what is proper, what you should do and what you should not do. And you want to get away from that. Because it constantly reminds you that the life you are living you should not be doing that. You've already heard the knowledge and then you are doing something that is different. This knowledge will remind you. So the tendency is you will harden your heart. Titigasan mo yung puso mo para hindi mo marinig si Krishna. You want to get away from that. You want to get away from Krishna, you'll have to harden your heart. So that's what happens to some people. So that they cannot hear Krishna from their heart, within their hearts. Titigasan nila yung puso nila. So when you do that, you'll be in a more worse situation that you were before. Ganun yung mangyari. That's what I have observed from other people who try to get close to God and then they have realized na, oh no, I still want to be the enjoyer. I still don't want Krishna to control my life. But you have already heard that you cannot enjoy in this world. So you have to harden your heart. You have to forget things. You have to be in the mode of ignorance to be able to try to enjoy this world again. Hopefully that you don't be in such situation. Okay? So, para mapalapit talaga tayo kay Krishna, then we just have to engage, continuous lang sa process, no? So, let's chant. Harbal Namaste.
Siddhaswarupananda, Paramahamsa Namine, Gaura Karuna Swarupaya. Radha Krishna Prasthayate Namo Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namine Gaura Karuna Swarupaya Radha Krishna Prasthayate Shri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Dayanya 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 Bhakti Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Bhakti Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Gopala Govinda Rama Madana Mohana 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 Madana Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Gopala 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 Govinda Rama Madana Mohana Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gauranga 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 Jaya Jaya Srila Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Jaya Jaya Siddhaswarupananda Paramahamsa Namo Siddhaswarupananda Narinig Warakan mo na Swarupaya Radha Krishna Krishna